Hello. How's everybody doing? YDBT Daily, the first live stream of 2025. YDBT Daily on a Thursday. First day back at work, actually. It's kind of odd to be back at work starting on a Thursday. But we've been off since the 22nd, so we got a lot of stuff done, a lot of vehicles finalized. It was nice to see a lot of projects that were lingering for a little while get cleaned up. And I cannot believe that it is 2025, and I'm going to talk about the exact same shit that was happening in 2024. Ford recalls. The first recall that I heard about was about the Super Duty fuel pump recalls. And then a recall that happened before that was just kind of tucked away because it happened to involve a Ford Lightning, a vehicle a guy used in the Louisiana terrorist attacks. So I was like, no wonder that story kind of got buried. But we'll talk about the Ford Lightning recall, the Ford Super Duty fuel pump recall. Ford back at it again. I cannot believe that we're back at this place where Ford is just... I told you guys, the COVID cars, the cars being made in, 19, 20, 21 were going to be the biggest pieces of shit ever made. And the chickens have come home to roost. And you're starting to see a bunch of the fruits of their labor. We'll talk about the Super Duty recalls. We'll talk about the Lightning recalls and anything else you guys want to talk about. Talk about the first day back at Lund Racing. We'll get you guys caught up on all that stuff. But not before Mr. Bill O'Reilly lets us know to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Bill, it always sucks. But you know what doesn't suck is the sponsors that were rolling over from last year. That's right, PMAS, Nick James and PMAS. He's going to stay on board and support the show, get you guys cold air intakes, get you guys a bunch of stuff here and there so everyone can be on the same page. Promote the proper cold air intake that should be on your car. Nothing else matters. I'm blown away that you buy anything else. DNAP Performance, DNAPperformance.com. DNAP Performance, you're going to get all your parts from DNAPperformance.com. You're going to get your wheels, you're going to get your fuel systems, injectors, anything, you name it. Cups, Amory cups, shirts, DNAPperformance.com. Bellac Industries, Bellac, the Miami one-stop shop for drug dealer wheels. You have a side-by-side? Get some Bellacs. You got a, un candunguito. Get some Bellacs. Let everyone know you sell the Yayo. Toyota Solution, where we got on Toyota Solution, the preeminent late model shop in Puerto Rico. Check him out. It's one guy, so you're going to be waiting a little bit, but you know what? He's hustling. And finally, Parts Farm. PartsFarm.com. Parts Farm, the title sponsor of the show, PartsFarm.com. Hit me up the other day. He got hosed. He bought a car south of Boca. That thing was rusty as shit. And he has learned never to buy a car south of Boca. As always, Mr. Bryson Witt does us a solid and puts up the rich prints and graphics. Veteran-owned company / YDBT. Got the hats. Look at the hats. Look at the shirts. Section 8 shirts. Hush Money shirts and hoodies. YDBT shirts. Long sleeve, short sleeve. All the colors. The USA font is the best font. Where is it? Where is it? Red. Sure, they call it red. That's the one. That's the one to get. But that's the one I'm going to get. You know what? I just got to remind myself to put like fucking 2 of those. Let's do extra large. Put them bitches in the cart. You never know what can happen. And go to richmonds.com / YDBT and you can get some merch and get the kid paid. Because I just got my commission check today. And it was nice. Congratulations on everyone spending some money around Christmas time. SCT Mile an Hour, El Verga Larga, D-Rock Fox, Cody Jones, Nick Good, Paul Ponthew again, B. Levesh, Z303, Kemzilla, Frank Donahue said hello. Manuel 40, Coyote Kelly, I'm Hung So Low, Six Suki, Joe Jackson, 101 RTR, Stuart D, Clint Stroke, El Verga Larga, TC, Stuart D, Dixon, Clean 93 GT, Douche Down, Risky Business, Tiller GTO, RoboStyle, Big Pops, KJ, 2 Valve. We got Wesley Soley. Shit, this thing just skipped everything. My God. Bryson a bunch of times, Kim Phillips, and by the way, become a Patreon member, Patreon subscriber, Patreon. I will be doing giveaways there too. You can get direct access to me. Ask me all the questions you want. But again, it is not somewhere you can go and get aftermarket service for tuning. It's just if you want to talk to the kid about your tune and or tuning advice and setup questions. Teach Skorsky, Craig Walls, Mr. Billet Noonan himself, one of our TRB, Turoviati's in the house. I can't believe it. The other, Evan Smith, Anti-Medic, South Detroit Entertainment, Mark Richardson, HGFU grad, Gregory Utvich, Perro Grande, Chuck Wazowski, Retro Fox Voodoo, Timmy T, Retro Fox Bird, Holly Jetsled, Justin for the comments, Mr. Whipple, John Bonanno, JD Swag, Hart, Hat, Eugene, Nat, Jew, Valley 10, in the house. Like to see it. Booster 6 GT, Oscar, Andrew, Redbird, Jared Wells taking care of the baby. Jesus, Ed, Soul 99, Louis CPR, Andrew, Dustin Garrison, Coyote, Coca-Cola, Mr. Sinaloa Cartel himself, Merv Jones, the Gap Father, and all the usual suspects. Thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate you guys supporting me for another year. We're going to try to make this year pretty interesting. Secured both vehicles, power adders, GT500 and ZR1 the other day, last week. And I'm hoping that this year we're going to get 8s out of the GT500. A 4-second 60 to 130 out of the ZR1. Donnie and the 9s on a stock motor. We'll see if we can weld the ears. If I can weld the ears back on, I'm going to run that bitch ragged and fucking chuck a rod. I'm going to see how fast we can go on a stock motor. We'll do some NA stuff. And then we'll see if I can go really quick on a stock motor. I don't want to have to take that motor out, but if we can weld it in place, we'll do it. I am not taking that motor out. Fuck that. We're going to weld it in place. And if we can't weld it in place, pa'l carajo, I'll put an illuminator in that bitch. So let's talk about the ongoing issues with Ford, that it's just a broken record. This was January 2nd, 2025. Today, Ford recalls 295,449 Super Duty trucks for fuel pump issues. Now, there are some comments at the bottom of this that I think are something we should talk about. So if you bought a 2020 to 22 F-Series Super Duty truck from 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel, you might have fuel pump problems. Ford is recalling nearly 300,000 examples of 2020 to 2022 Super Duty trucks because the regulators say the high pressure fuel pump, the CP4, can wear excessively and prematurely fail. The NHTSA, god damn it, NHTSA says affected trucks can develop biodiesel deposits inside the high fuel pressure pump. These deposits apparently form one of the pump's drivetrain components, roller, which can cause the pump to fail, resulting in a loss of power and increasing the risk of an accident. Now, there's some good news for the potential of 295,000 people. First, the recall report notes that only 4% of the possibly affected vehicles are estimated to feature this defect. More importantly, for those potentially affected, the recall notice outlines Ford has a remedy. Listen to this. This is the remedy for a fuel pump hardware failure. If your truck is affected, Ford says it'll update the powertrain control module software free of charge. I don't know, call me crazy. How the fuck can software fix a hardware issue? Does it pulse it differently? I don't know. Ford also expects owners to be notified by mail on January 13, 2025. You can also use the NHTSA recall tool, blah, 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 blah. And in the comments, there's actually some pretty good questions. Zionist says, yes, like the sun rising in the east and day turning into night, add yet another Ford recall as things that are constants. How pathetic. Found on road dead. My question is, says, how can a software update affect biodiesel deposits? Wouldn't a biodiesel deposit be a mechanical issue, not an electronic issue? Now, the CP4 high-pressure pump has already failed on my truck's 6.7 Power Stroke. Fortunately for me, had an extended warranty, and it was covered. And then someone says, is it really Ford's fault that the fuel put in them is substandard? And someone asked, the same guy who commented before said, it is Ford's fault that they use a pump that is unable to deal with the fuel available these days. And the fuel is not substandard. It is the standard sold at almost every fuel stop in the country. Okay, so I was reading that and I was ready to get ready. And somebody on Facebook said, hey, Alex, there was a recall on the Ford Lightning. That's right. Major suspension and steering issue prompts Ford F-150 Lightning recall. The defect may affect almost 12,000 23, 24 model year Lightnings, and it has so far been the source of one known accident. Which accident? Jesus, the timing of this is before the attack. Ford ended 2024 with an F-150 Lightning recall, highlighting a serious issue that Ford caused the loss of steering while driving. The problem stems from front suspension components that may have been improperly tightened at the factory and could come loose at separate, potentially leading to a serious accident. So you mean the exoskeleton was set to have a slightly higher foot-pound or torque spec? One known accident has been attributed to this defect, and it saw the truck veering into a highway barrier while traveling at 60 miles an hour. When Ford investigated the vehicle, it found that the truck, which was brand new, had covered less than 700 miles, was missing an upper control arm nut. Missing an... These motherfuckers want raises. And they a missing upper control arm nut, which caused the steering knuckle to separate. This prompted a broader investigation that resulted in a recall. According to the end, you know them, which quotes the information from the manufacturer, the nut on the upper control arm ball joint may not have achieved the correct torque due to variation in the alignment or orientation between the fastening tool and the fastener. You mean the fucking guy didn't put the socket on right? That may have induced lateral forces on the tool, preventing it from properly seating on the fastener. The number of potentially affected vehicles are 12,000 basically, and they were built between November 6, 2023 and February 12, 2024, and will need to go to a dealer for inspection. Dealers will inspect the upper control arm ball joint nut and replace the nut and or knuckle assembly as necessary, free of charge. Why don't you just do a software update? See how that works. Ford intends to send notification letters to the owners of the affected vehicles in early February. Maybe you started watching the show 4 years ago, and you were like, or 5 years ago, and you're like, boy, Alex, I love Ford, and Alex loves Ford, so I'm going to watch this show because we're like bros. And then I started highlighting everything that Ford is failing on, and the page started to turn. You're like, wait, I thought Alex was one of us. I'm not retarded. If a company is fucking up, you have to hold their feet to the fire. I don't dislike Ford as a brand. I dislike the current leadership and the, shit flowing downhill effect from bad leadership. And it just bleeds down to everything that happens. And I'm blown away that a lot of people think that I'm just like, hating Ford for the sake of hating Ford. Guys, even Chevy, who was bought out and basically nationalized, right? They are making better products than Ford by far. It's not even close. I get it. Camaro is gone, Guys, they have five or six vehicles that are potentially badass V8s and rear-wheel drives or all-wheel drives. We're talking General Motors. We're talking the Cadillac. We're talking the Escalade. We're talking the 4 or 5 variants of Corvette. So, I'm sorry. I'm not retarded. I see what's happening. So, I'm going to report on it. But people sometimes get all mad at me because I'm like reporting what I'm seeing. I'm kind of blown away by that. But the fact that the Lightning didn't get torqued down properly, the control arm didn't get bolted down properly, and it stemmed a recall. Then the CP4 pump that has been I'm kind of blown away by that. Apparently, I don't know shit about diesel, but the CP4 pump is like known to fail. And the CP3, which is the reason why Dakota bought a truck with a CP3 pump, he's like, this is way better. Like, I've never had an issue with this pump. The reviews on the CP4 is junk. And then 300,000 trucks are getting recalled. And they're saying a software update is going to fix that. I don't know how that works. How the fuck does a software work? Or it's early detection. Let's just say it could be a software update for earlier detection of issues. I guess I could understand that. But I don't have much hope for Ford. Okay, the Mustang is still not tunable. The 24 F-150 is still not tunable. The Raptor R is still not tunable. The 3 vehicles that matter when it comes to performance on the Ford side of things. GTD, that's not going to be tunable. It's running GT500 architecture and the DCT from the Tremec. So at the end of the day, the vehicles that have V8s in them cannot be tuned. But on Chevy side, all of them are ready to be tuned ASAP. So only one manufacturer is winning out of the 3. And if Dodge, let's say Dodge gets in the game, just turns on the factory, starts taking smoke detectors out of every fucking fire alarm on the planet, and starts introducing Hellcat motors back in cars, Ford's gonna have to do something to compete. And making it tunable might be too little, too late. Keith and Kyron, hot take. Idling a diesel for hours and hours on end, day after day, will cause problems. Big shocker. I feel like most car issues are user error. No, the CP4 pump is shit. Crazy you drive a Lightning to save the earth, but then decide to... Stop. Not funny. I bet the update is just turning off the check engine code for a fuel pump failure. 32-hour work weeks. Real good quality control. New year, same old Ford. The main problem is they're just complicated these days. Dozens of sensors and miles of wire. Missing nut? That's what happens when that's when nut and bolt checks are during new car prep at the dealer. That's over, Ken Phillips. When a car shows up at the dealership, it comes off the truck, right into the showroom floor. They maybe peel a sticker or two. They don't put it up on a lift and go through every single little nut and bolt. Those days are over. Techs are now parts replacers, not master diagnosers. How many times have I sent somebody to Ford to do a crank relearn on a vehicle when HP tuners did not have the ability to do a crank relearn on their software, the TDN app specifically? I would say, hey, try it on the scanner app. And the HP Tuner scanner app for a very long time did not have a working crank relearn. Rumor is they got it working. But the problem is this: when the car is tuned, we use a specific strategy. And we give you the strategy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, maybe you're a Ford tech, people here are Ford techs, you can tell me. If the IDS does not recognize the as-built strategy that the VIN number spits out, does it ask to put in the strategy that is being used in order for it to recognize the car? Yes or no? Well, what happens is this: the Ford techs just quit the moment they plug into the car and they go, it's tuned, I can't fuck with it. It's tuned, I can't fuck with it. When if I'm not mistaken, the IDS software asks you if it has a custom strategy, please put it in below and we'll give it to you. As a matter of fact, we give you that strategy if you're an alternate identifier. If you are tuned by Lund Racing and you are using the laptop to load and log files with HP Tuner software, which in my opinion is better than the TDN app. Just look at the reviews on the TDN app. That's all you have to know. You have the ability to log and do vehicle functions on the scanner app. And we, in the ticket, tell you the vehicle ID. FMKK0, FSKK0, BLV3, whatever. We give you the strategy. So if you go to Ford and someone plugged in and goes, it's tuned, I can't fuck with it, tell them to upload the stock tune. No, you still have the ability to, punch in the current code and then the potential alternate identifier according to Chuck. But they're lazy. Techs aren't techs like they used to be at dealerships anymore. Parts cannons, exactly. Hell, I've seen the numbers on the Dodge Turbo 6-cylinder. Yes, the RHO is doing pretty damn well tuned, just like I told you sons of bitches, that the straight 6 Hurricane twin turbo situation is going to make power, and a JB4 RHO tuned Hurricane equipped TRX made the same horsepower as a Hellcat motor. Stop it. Junior Diaz says, I have a 15 Mustang and an 18 GMC Sierra. I've had to replace the AC compressor on the Mustang, but I haven't had any issues with the Sierra, knock on wood. My Cadillac has not had any issues that were like an issue, meaning I haven't had to go to the dealership. The transmission is that AL90 or whatever the fuck it's called that's being they're suing GM for a class action lawsuit. And in my opinion, it's a software issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to tune the transmission only on the Escalade and just bump up the pressure, right? I'm just going to bump up the line pressure, right? And we'll see if the stuttering and shaking goes away. I'm not going to add spark. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to license the trans stuff, add pressure. We'll see what happens. And if it fixes it, I'll make a video about it. Got to admit that Cybertruck was still intact after the explosion. There is no better commercial for the Cybertruck than the attempted terrorist attack that happened in Las Vegas at the Trump Tower. Some guy put apparently VP cans of race gas. What a terrible, I mean, the racing industry can't catch a break. Tesla Cybertruck explosion. Images. Let's go on images. There's a can of VP race fuel in the back. Guys, look at this. Right there. Boom. Dude had... Can we identify what fuel it is? Can we identify the fuel? No! God damn it, don't do that. I don't want to see a video. Jesus, this thing will... Okay, let me see. Damn, I wonder if I can zoom in. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Just show me the fucking photo. Oh, my God!
The time of his
show
death.
me the
Tonight,
fucking photo! Jesus! Holy shit! Save image as. Let me see. Save image as. Sure. Ah, it's a fucking... Ah, they don't let me see it. But anyway, it's a can of VP something. C16. It's race gas. And then he had a bunch of fireworks and a bunch of crazy stuff. But look at the truck. The truck is intact. The truck's intact. Look at it. The wheels are good. The lithium... The lights are on. Look at it. The lights are on. What a commercial. The actual structure of the vehicle took the brunt of the impact and did not do any damage. The wheels and tires are still intact. The batteries are still intact. Everything is still intact. What a commercial. Like Ford Lightning had a recall a day before the Lightning exploded and protected Trump Tower. Unbelievable chain of events. So think about it. Think about Ford's luck. Some guy goes on their social media, posts anti-Israel stuff. Take that for what you will. Then they had a recall on the Lightning. Then they had a recall on the diesel trucks. And then, unfortunately, somebody took one, a psychopath, took a Lightning F-150, and plowed a bunch of people over in New Orleans. Again, that's not Ford's fault, obviously. But, like, just the sheer bad luck that Ford has had in the last year is astronomical. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Exactly, right? 5 gallons of VP 114 near me is 130. Crazy. Alex Sunoco's like 75 bucks. Must have been E30R. Oh my God, Bondo Bird. It had to have been E30R because you got 70% 87 octane. News websites are the worst. If you use diesel additive very time fill up, you should be good. There's a replacement pump for the 467 company called S, and I don't care. When do you think we'll have the 10R80 performing like the 10R90? Never. The current 10R80, I think it's a ghost in the machine. I think the issue is the ghost in the machine. So regardless of what you do in the transmission calibration, you can't add clamping power to the trans without the clutches slipping. So a lot of the fixes that 10R80s do when it comes to upgrading them is just a set of clutches. So the clutches actually help, but it still doesn't break shit. You don't break planetaries, you don't break shafts, you don't break input, you don't break anything. It just keeps slipping the clutch. You just have a longer period of time before the transmission eats shit. Honestly, based on the fact that on a stock tune, the 10R80 starts to suck major cock, you can almost make the assumption that it's a ghost in the machine. It's a learned value, like an adaptive learned value. Could be in the valve body, could be in the valve body programming, could be in the tune, could be in some binary 1 and 0 somewhere that has a timer, right? That just keeps summing up the, errors. And then it gets to the point where I have reached the cap of what this thing can calculate for errors. And then the transmission starts to do 10-1 downshifts at 55 miles an hour on the highway. So then what do I tell you to do? Do a cam reset. Keep alive memory. And don't you guys notice that after a cam reset or a trans relearn, the 10R80 magically shifts better? Oh, Alex, I did a cam reset on the thing. It runs great now. Hey, Alex, I did a trans relearn on my 10R80. It runs great now. Then a month later, after you driving it like a normal ass person, the ghosts in the machines come back and start doing gremlin shit. And you're like, huh, so it's not the tune, because the factory tune does the same thing. I was amazed that the bedsides are still perfect, bulletproof, and boomproof. Elon undersold these. His military ID is still intact. Sheesh, Cybertruck did a great job containing the explosion in the truck. Ford's refusal to address core leadership and strategic flaws will lead to continuous setbacks, says Jack Kennedy. Until this company does a massive overhaul, Ford will continue to underperform. Shame on you, Ford. Jack Kennedy, you sound downright presidential there. I appreciate the insight. That's a long. Let me put this down here. That was kind of long, but you're right. I could not have put it better myself. They cannot keep blaming people under them. It's a top to bottom issue. Costas Ampus, that's the pick. That's the pick you were looking for. Alex Sloan posted it on Patreon. Oh, Patreon. I love Patreon. Let's go to Patreon and see what Slow99 put up there for us so we can see what's going on. No, he didn't. Where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, bro, you are the best. Look at Patreon coming in. Look at Patreon. Race. What is this? What is it? Save images. Sure. Save. Let's open it. Let me see. Enhance. Let's see if we could see what it is. Let's see if we can identify the fuel. Oh, man. What is this? What else he's got going on in the bed? Let me see. Just stuff. Oh, is this like unexploded ordnance? Race fuel. What kind of race fuel? That'd be interesting. Watch it just be. It's sealed, and it didn't blow up. Yeah, this didn't blow up. What an amazing good. Thank you, Slow99. Yeah, that photo kind of encompasses like how great the Cybertruck is and what the guy was trying to do by using race gas. Maybe a bulletproof vehicle is not the best vehicle to hide a bomb in. Right. Good evening, says hey to S2R Christian. Yes, I do. I'm looking for a purchase for a set. Both the same rental. Yeah, both from the same rental company, which is Turo. The Turo app is like a private app where you can put your vehicle on Turo and somebody can rent the car from you. I think that's goofy shit. That's goofy shit. Just be a Patreon member. Cool stuff got you up. Exactly. 10R80s are only good for minor mods. Well, if you ask Stang Mode, he says Ford is amazing. Stang Mode is doing, in my opinion, the right thing for Stang Mode. He needs to stay in good favor with Ford. So he's going to say everything they make is really awesomer. Everything they make is awesomer. Resonate the leader.
We have MBRP. Resonate the leader.
10R80s will mess up no stock mods. Still a dud though. When are people going to give up on the 10R? I know mine's always going to be trashed. I don't know. I don't know why people constantly want the 10R80 to be this viable Billy Badass thing. We are 6 years in. 2018, 2024, 5. That bitch has not done any better than it did back in 2018, 2019, which is like 7s. And then it gets smoked. Show me a car that went to a track, did 3 qualifying sessions in the 7s, went rounds in the 7s, and that trans clutches were still pretty good. Hell no. Not just no. Hell go. Jim Farley has to go, period. Just as a symbol, he has to go. Because you are telling your shareholders, your fans, and your customers, we're willing to stick with the CEO that has been a part of the worst part of Ford's recent history in the last 25 years. Is that new rocket poster in the background? Yeah, that's a it's not a poster, it's a metal print. I got this from NASA spaceflight, and I'm redoing the living room, so I have these metal prints of the Starship, the full stack. And this is when they were testing these first before they started stacking them. This was what ship is this? I think it was ship 15. Not sure. This was this one I think went up and then it crashed down and exploded. Or maybe this was the first one that landed. I'm not 100%, but I'm redoing the living room. Let's just say that. I'm redoing the living room in case some puta quiere venir para acá and montarse en mi bitch. Bottle rockets look like. Alex, you can rotate the picture. Yeah, I can rotate it, but there's no discernible there's nothing that says see anything anywhere. You can just see it. The ratio looks like it was chilling. Me cago en 10. My truck's a 2022, says Nestor Barrios. Yes, shout out to Nestor Barrios. Guy's literally just buying everything I have. Why is Turo goofy? I like renting cool shit. V6 Mustang when on vacation. It's because you're putting your personal car on fucking Turo like a goofball. It's not a company. You deal with an application. So you go, you buy your Model S Plaid, you put it on Turo because you probably can't afford the fucking car. And you're hoping that people can rent it from you. So what happens when anyone rents anything from you? They treat it like shit. That's why I'm not a big fan of like owning property. I know I've talked to people that want to own property. I get it. But once you lease out the property or rent the property, you can pretty much guarantee no one's going to give a shit about that property. So you have, let's say, a Model S Plaid or a cool car or a Ferrari or whatever, and you're going to rent it. That owner is counting on you to pay off his car. And you're like, oh, it's cool. I want to rent the fuck. Shut the fuck up. If you can't afford that fucking car, don't rent it from some dickhead. That's weird. It's goofy. It's goofy to drive around in something I can't afford and flex. It's fucking goofy. I am secure in a fucking Fiesta. I just got to go point A to point B. I don't give a fuck about looking good going from point A to point B. My 10R started acting like up yesterday. I said to myself, shit, Alex was right. David Gonzalez. 6RD La Luz. Should I send you the shop's number so you can talk to my peoples about coming out to you and weld up that block? No, I don't want anybody here. I don't want anybody here. I want to drive, put it on a trailer, bring it somewhere, and they weld it in place. No one's going to come. You got to have like crazy amount of like power to like run an aluminum. It's probably a TIG situation. Unless True Viate can like make up something for me. But no, like I'd have to probably take it somewhere. I know that. People think the 10R is DCT because it farts on shifts. 6RD is la red de party. Fort Bragg is being a psyop is the base more interesting angle of both of these terrorist attacks. Fort Bragg being a psyop base is more the interesting angle of both of these terrorist attacks. Okay, I don't know shit about that. Let Elon buy Ford. No, because Elon would get rid of the Mustang. To me, the Mustang's a legacy vehicle. You've seen the sales. Sales aren't that good. Sales are actually really bad, in my opinion. A 24 GT is like looking for fucking Waldo. The only place you're going to see a 24 GT is at a car meet, a car dealership, and maybe a drag strip. You're never going to see it driving around. And again, I live in Palm Beach Gardens, top 5. It's decent. I see more Cybertrucks. Hell, the Cybertruck based on that fucking video is it's jump up in sales. Jesus! You can't even, that thing just contains everything. So, no Cybertrucks, barely Lightnings. I see no Mustangs on the road. To me, Ford Mustang is a legacy product. They're just like, eh. And if Elon goes in there and buys Ford, he'll let go of the Mustang in a heartbeat. Wouldn't give two shits.
Did you know there was a thing called COVID? I just heard about it. This motherfucker needs to make money. Bitches ain't getting to Mars for free. You dig, homie? I make cars for people that absolutely hate to drive, hence the full self-drive feature. I was going to name the company Non-Driver Motherfuckers of America. But my next new product I'm inventing is Neuralink. I invented it so I can directly send dick pictures to interns I want to bang directly to their brains. The steering wheel on the Model S Plaid was just a beta version of the next generation steering wheel. It's a mold of my fat dick. The best part about Tesla owners is that I can shit in a box and put a Tesla label on it and they'll buy it.
He's not wrong.
The best part about making Teslas is I don't have to change the design. People overlook obvious shortcomings just so they can sit on my jock.
Not wrong. So Elon has a no reason to buy Ford shit. I saw a dark horse on the road and I couldn't believe it. Overland Park, Kansas. David Hale, Heath, you're over the target. Wait, Weldon Block, what am I missing? Send your shop numbers. He has Turvey. He doesn't need anyone else. Is there a future for Ford releasing cool shit with Farley remaining a CEO? No. Well, in his mind, he'll go, we've released the most powerful Mustang up to date, the Ford GTD. And SVT engineers are still alive, but they must be rolling their eyes so fucking hard. SVT gave you the Cobra. SVT gave you the GT500. SVT gave you the Lightning. SVT gave you the Contour. SVT gave you the Focus SVT. So SVT was making everything kind of hot rodded up, right? Cobra, Lightning, Focus, GT500, and Contour. And what the fuck is Ford giving you right fucking now? Right now, you could get a regular Focus and an SVT version, a regular Contour and an SVT version. You could get a regular GT or an SVT Cobra. What the fuck is Ford giving you now? A $300,000 GTD? SVT engineers are like, what? Great car, awesome. Now make something for the everyday guy that a $50,000 car. Give everyone a $50,000 hot rod. Good luck with that shit. Because knowing Farley is going to fuck up more and more until the Ford is done for and non-existent. People think, well, what the fuck? Farley's not at fault. Leadership. Lack of leadership makes the company go to shit. There's the 24 GT here. They want $110,000. RTS spec up with Rouse Supercharger. That's so stupid. Alex Turbo or Supercharger. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This isn't that kind of chat. Make sense, please. Ford workforce and unions alone would be a headache for Elon to navigate. He'd have to fire everybody. They're trying to unionize, if I'm not mistaken, the Germany Tesla factory. And I guarantee he's going to fight that tooth and nail. I think Elon is such a hard-nosed businessman. He doesn't take anybody's shit. He'll be like, I'll close the motherfucker. Fuck you. He's psycho like that. There's one Coyote S650 near me. The other 5, I've been all EcoBoost. Here in Richmond, Virginia, meaning I see S550 and S197 modified every day. Nobody wants a 24 plus. The problem with the 24 Mustang, and I'm gonna say it, call me a misogynist, call me a whatever. Women were involved in designing that. Just look at it. The Dark Horse looks good because of its paint, wheel, tire choice, and the rear wing. Let's be honest, guys. This is an S550 and a half. If I'm not mistaken, from the quarter panel to the back, everything is probably interchangeable, right? I could probably take a 2015 S550 8.8 IRS assembly and directly bolt it onto a Dark Horse because the body mounts are the same. The transmission is a 3160 from a GT350. The others are MT82s and it's a 10R80. It's an S550 and a half. So women are designing the car, not a great looking car. If you sit in it, the dual tablets, when you look through the view area of the steering wheel, it cuts off the monitors. Go ahead, get in an S650. Sit down, turn on the monitors. A quarter of the display is missing because the steering wheel is in the way. You have to go. Okay. Not everything in the center without any bullshit. The features of the car are gimmicky. Revving on the fob? Really? Some asshole had to develop that. Could you imagine you're in the meeting Okay, we're gonna invent we're gonna basically slap new body panels on this S550 and maybe 2 tablets on the dash. Make it untunable. Put 2 cold airs in it. Why? Why not? Emissions bullshit. What do you think is a good selling point? Well, honey, I was at this place where people go sliding. They call it Initial D. I thought it was like a porn shoot because who the fuck names a sport the D? Initial D. Formula. Yeah, D for drift. Fucking retards. Anyway, I noticed all of them had herpes, so I thought this must be a porn shoot. No, they were sliding around. And apparently, the kids like seeing cars slide around. So why don't we make this car slide around? How do you suggest we do that? You know, in the snow, in the Northeast, you just want to kick the car sideways? Well, you just pull the e-brake. Instead of having a cable, we'll make the lever electrically actuate the parking brake on the rear. Well, isn't that potentially dangerous? Who cares? We're going to make it rev on a fob. Great fucking meeting. Great. I would have been like, no. Make a drag pack. Make it. Offer a version that costs nothing to make. Tunable. Single throttle body. 10R. Cloth. Like nothing. Nothing. Junk. Make it as light as possible. Make it barely. No sound deadening. Fuck it. Call it the 1320, just like Dodge did. Dodge gave you every variant of Challenger. GT, the V6, RXT, I think, the GT, the RT, the SRT, the Scat Pack, the Hellcat, Red Eye, Demon, narrow body, wide body, Jailbreak. Ford gives you a GT and a Dark Horse. Holy shit. CEO always going to be the top executive roadblock, only behind the CFO and general incompetence. So yeah, it's Farley's fault. Every other exec has to dance with his ass on everything. Dark Horse equals a Mach 1. Steeda sells all those parts as S550/S650. Would you say the 24 Plus is the equivalent of the S197 3-valve? No competition, so mediocre product? David Gonzalez, you might be right on that. You might be onto that. If somebody is out there making the case that the mediocrity or the lack of competition, just people just sit around and go, we don't got to compete against anything. Let's give you a junk product. I could imagine if there was a guy that traded in his '09 GT or '05 GT, paid off, goes to the dealership. Oh, look at the new body style. Oh, yeah, it's a different computer. Oh, wow. Look at that. Different gauges. Oh, this is so sick. Buys it only for the next year to have a plus 100 horsepower motor and a 6-speed transmission with factory 373s, a Mach 500 or Mach 1000 shaker system, tunable right off the rip. Bro, could you imagine owning a 2010 GT500 or a 2010 GT right now? You must be crying with that car note. Dual intakes is for the upcoming GT350. They wanted it to original but could not cover the R&D cost on them, so it was put into the S650. Screens make a car feel dated after 5 years. I prefer the base, never stack cars over infotainment. The drift stick is hilarious. Like, have you never just ripped the e-brake? It's the same thing. Can't wait for the S650 to be tunable so I can two-step shoot flames off of my key fob. I think, you know what? I gotta go look back in time. I made a video making fun of that because if you thought that was cool and you thought Lund was going to develop key fob revving, I took advantage of that ASAP. I said, I guarantee there's going to be people that actually see this video and think that it's actually going to be a thing. Meaning the fact that a key fob, revving key fob on pre-24 vehicles is a thing. And I made a video on Instagram way back in the day, so I'm going to have to look it up. But it was me saying that I figured out how to make it rev on the key fob, and it was, some hidden stuff in the software or something like that. So I found it. Let me see if I could find it. Let me go to my profile, and I'm gonna scroll for a while. So bear with me here, but I'm gonna look. This video I thought was hilarious because I'm like, let me just see if some people fall for this. And it had actually a lot of views, which made me sad for humanity because you guys actually thought we were going to develop that. Like, y'all actually thought that was, oh yeah, we're going to make a rev on a key fob. Okay. Let me see. Is this it? Let me see. Can I play it? How come I can't play it on the screen? No, that's not it. Next one, next one, next one, next one. No, 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 no. Okay, wow, I used to post a lot. Wow, my head was small back then. That's when I was like starving myself, and I was like, couldn't even bench barely 2 plates. I gotta find that. I gotta find it. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Wow, I'll just let you guys watch what I'm doing, so you can, be entertained. Just look at your phones. Look at all the shit I put up. What is this? Is this something? Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, check it out. Okay, so I made a video saying that I figured out how to rev on the key fob. Let me see. The rev by key feature on their new S650 Mustang. I looked at the tune a lot closer, and I found out that I was able to duplicate it exactly how they would. So what you do is you hit the lock button twice, and the car will automatically rev for you. What an asshole. I love it. And you guys are like, oh, you motherfucker. And I was like, you guys actually thought we were going to develop that? It's stupid. Get the fuck out of here. Sometimes I'm funny. The S650 is the car equivalent of the Call of Duty on your iPhone. Don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Fun, Sean Official. Ford should offer a true drag pack on the Mustang and a 4x4 RCSP F-150. Bring back the 6R80. Good luck with that. How the fuck are they going to do that? Twin turbos on the 5.0. Yeah, good luck with that. So you can call it the EcoBoost. Fitment for 15-inch wheels and tunability literally will never happen. Key fob on the two-step actually had me dying. Alex, can you tune my revs on the key fob with flames? Alex, can you raise my key fob limiter to from 4,000 to 8,500 so I can watch my phasers and OPGs shoot out the bitch? Goes Cam Burble off the fob. I think revving is only 2 program rev patterns. It's not like it matches the revs on the buttons you press. No. No, not at all. It doesn't do anything cool. It does everything gay. Rest in peace, my eardrums. The Diddy clip would have been funny as fuck. I think that was pre-Diddy clip. I think that clip was, when was this uploaded? September 15th, 2022. I uploaded this. Hit the lock. September 15th, 2022. And boom, I showed you here September 14th, 2022 that I had the layout for the twin throttle body, twin cold air shit way before it was announced to the general public. But again, there's certain things I can't talk about because there's NDAs involved. People give me shit. People send me shit on my email all the time. They're like, bro, like this is what's going to happen, this and this and that. But I haven't heard shit. I haven't heard anything because I don't think anything exciting is coming down the pipeline for Ford. Like some people say, what about the Cobra? What the fuck's the Cobra going to be? A supercharged, untunable 5-liter? Like the cool thing about the Cobra was that it had a different motor back in the day. From a GT 2-valve, Mach 1 had the 32-valve NA, and then the Cobra had the Terminator forged supercharged 32-valve in it. So that made it special. So if now the GT350 has a 5.2, the GT500 2020 and up version has a 5.2, the regular GT has a 5.0. So the Shelby or Cobra variants had different motors. What the fuck is Ford gonna put in a Cobra if they come out with a Cobra? What? A higher horsepower Coyote variant? Come on. Do something new. Fuck it. Let's go. Why did I play that in public? Says Nicolo Pamplone. That's epic. Laughing my ass off. Damn it, I'm watching with my loud ass speakers. The Sean Fish says, I said they should never said they would. A lot of do, but they aren't. Gotcha. If they brought the 680 back, would you even trust it with its quality? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The program is going to be the problem. Yeah, it was pre-Diddy. Farley thought that taking the Mustang's true purpose would help it sell more equally as before. However, the tuning is not available even now, which is the Mustang's purpose. Okay, so if you're sitting down, if you guys on the chat get invited to Ford and do one of those, I forget what they're called, focus groups, and they were to tell you, list it, what do you want the next Mustang to have? Go ahead, chat. On the chat, based on, you got to know they're working in the weird sandbox. So they have to meet emission standards, mile per gallon standards, blah, 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 blah. But what, in a focus group, if you're getting paid in donuts and time, what do you want the next Mustang to have? Hey, Ford, this chat, while you think is not inconsequential, is probably more a better indication of what the general performance enthusiast wants in their Mustang. So I'm asking the chat to put down what they want their next Mustang to have. And I would hope, Ford, that maybe you don't think this show is viable, but this is probably the best representation of any live stream or any channel on YouTube, bar none, that directly puts a pulse or puts a finger on the pulse of the buying public when it comes to performance Mustangs. So let's read what they want. Tunable, right off the bat. Drag Edition, a 4-valve 351, tunable, twin turbos, a 4-valve 5.8, twin turbo V8. Copy what Dodge did and make it light. Twin turbo. Drag pack 6R80 lightweight 5.2. Nestor Burials 5.5 liter dual overhead cam tunable lightweight. Bryson Witt GT boosted 6R80 better manual transmission tunable. GT500 with turbos tunable all-wheel drive. Hybrid Coyote. The motherfucker said carb Coyote. Tunable, tunability, drag shit. All I want to have is less weight, says the Sean Official. Coyote based twin turbo EcoBoost variant. Bring the price down. Small battery, performance, hybrid all-wheel drive model addition to the 5.2 liter. A cheap, affordable car that everyone knows and loves. A car that everyone can have access to. You see, Ford? This is the focus group right here of the performance market. And you can negate it all you want. But this, I know, the Amri doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Okay. I can guarantee in terms of influence, this show is talked about in circles that not only hate me, but at the end of the day, they go, this motherfucker has access and has a better pulse of what's happening out there and what should happen than most other motherfucking places. But whatever. Talk that, hate on me all you want. I'm trying to look out for the brand, whereas Ford is just throwing the brain out the window. Like, just shit. Lightweight tunable and track suspension. Ozempic edition Mustang tunability, so we don't have to hear it from Alex anymore. There you go. Stang mode dark horse makes 1,000 horsepower. Such a retard. All these boosted setups are going to go MSRP for $80,000. Cheap and tunable is the key. T56 less weight. That was the Shelby motto. The current Shelbys are making Shelby rollover in his grave. I mean, we heard from Carroll Shelby the other day, and he was not happy with what was happening with Ford. He had a lot to say. He wasn't,
The best vehicle I ever owned was an automatic 65 twin supercharged Cobra. I could stroke your dick while going 200 miles per hour. No problem. I love when he makes it smell like Badusi in the room. Look, them Dodge years were rough. It's either build Dodge GLH on me's or sell my booty hole for 20 bucks a pop. You know what's better than chewing on a dick first thing in the morning? chewing on 2 of them. Man, every time I see my signature on shit like suitcases and cereal boxes and chili, it makes me think, why didn't I marry my college boy? Whoa, that's a ton of dick cheese. Luckily, I'm not lactose intolerant. Whoa, that's a ton of dick cheese. Luckily, I'm not lactose intolerant. Wait, Dodge was pushing people's shit in? Why didn't anyone let me know? God fucking damn it! The only Shelby truck I had anything to do with was the Dodge Shelby Durango in Dakota. Those are more Shelby than any F-150 piece of shit.
Piece of what?
Piece of shit.
Oh, got it.
Whoa, that's a huge dick. Man, I could go for tall glass Mexican dick right now. The best thing about dating a Mexican roofer is that they're used to nailing shit. All day. Yum, 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 yum.
Oh.
I wish I was alive when the shitster was invented. I'd have never gotten out of my car to blow your dad in the weeds. You know what else I was blowing off in the weeds? Your dad.
Well, I mean, see, even he's not happy and rolling over in his grave of what they've done to his product. Shout out to Carroll Shelby. He's spicy. Only person in Florida I've seen that can weld an aluminum block is Kevin at KSR. Good luck. People adding $50,000 to S650 builds make them same power with gay electronics as Beliefasy. The Sean official keep the Coyote as is, strip down the features on the base, and make it small, light, cheap as possible while keeping the 5.0. Imagine a BRZ with a 5.0 around that price. No problem. EPA sends Alex the receipts. I love how we hear every clip when they're played. Whoa. I like when he goes, whoa, at the huge dick. Where is he? Whoa, at the, whoa.
Whoa, that's a huge dick.
No, he said, I think dick cheese.
Whoa, that's a ton of dick cheese. Luckily, I'm not lactose intolerant.
You know, sometimes I come, obviously I write everything. It's all gay stuff, so that take it for what you know, for that's worth. But I should actually, write some stuff and just put it out there in the ether. This got to be illegal. Love the AI voice is only used for gay jokes. The only good use for AI. Carroll the freak. I mean, no one is more freaky than JJ the boss. JJ the boss is nuts. I mean, he's way freaky.
Whenever I jerk off, I think of that one time Big Chief bent over to adjust his wheelie bar, and I saw a little bit of his ass crack. Man, if that bull ever let me ride his junk, he'd never know.
Yeah.
Now, looky here. These be them rules for the race. Number 1, jump, and I eat your ass. Number 2, the chase is anal sex. And 3, if you jump, we come in your booty hole. Who's in?
Who's in?
Am I the only one that gets a hard-on when Dominator races? I mean, those blue eyes are to die for. Man, I'll race you. How about this bet? If I win, I suck your dick. If I lose, I suck your dick twice. I know Ryan has all that fancy shit, but I know I can beat him on the street, because I'm more street. Now, here in the South, we do it a bit different than you Yankees. Here, buy-in is showing me your dick. And depending on the size, girth, and veins determines the run order. Winner gets my ass.
The way he says ass is just the best.
My ass.
My ass.
My ass.
Oh, fuck. You know, I forget these things exist, and then I just play them in succession like that, and I'm just like, wow, I'm pretty fucked up. Carroll was wild, and so how did Shelby turn into a flaming gay guy? Shelby ain't dead. He's still signing dashes. Dude, did you know? Okay, I was making a joke. I didn't know the brothers literally look on the dash, and unless they got 200 on the dash, it don't mean nothing. Don't like BRZs say 160 on the dash? Don't like 400 horsepower vehicles say like 160 on the dash? Do you think because it has a 200 on the dash, it can go 200? Hey, Theo, the issue with the 6L80 in the GMs is a torque converter. It fails and creates a bunch of trash, which wipes out the pump body, which happens to be integrated into the bell housing. Check it in, catch from the beginning. Well, luckily, I have a 8L60 Destroyer. I have an Explorer ST and would love to see those engines in an option as a Mustang. Theo, besides, thanks to you, I'm more self-aware on the way the Mustang can be an absolute monster. Is for starters getting rid of the 10R80. Based on what I've heard about it, I don't trust it at all. Mostly no one does. If there is a way to have an aftermarket controller have as much control as the 8HP does in the aftermarket. See, the 8HP is wonderful. Let's say you send out the 8HP and build it as best as you can, like you would a max effort 6R80. The aftermarket has great controllers for it. So why not do the same thing with a 6R80? And then you can start swapping that bitch in everything. People say, what about the Quick 6? It's not viable. It's just not there. The best control is the factory ECU and the factory, tuning parameters. That's the best way to control the 6R80, and that's the way you can make it last the longest, okay? You're going to hit certain limits. I'm sure you're going to hit certain mechanical limits and certain hardware limits once a aftermarket controller is invented. But you don't think the people that have to, like right now, Valley 10-speed is a great example. Valley 10-speed has a really fast stock motor 10R80 car. Twin turbo, Aldo Weld's kit. He built it just like I thought he is my example of 8 seconds with basically what I tell people to do. Aldo kit, stock motor, 10R80 with clutches. There's your $50,000. 6R80 will probably get you there better, but whatever. You don't think if there was an aftermarket controller worth a damn, instead of having to buy a Turbo 400 with a shifter, drive shaft, all this shit, if there was a way of just mating a 6R80 and the factory harness together and blending them and having to be the ability to flip a switch in the calibration and control a 6R80, people would opt for a 6R80 swap Gen 3. Absolutely. That's what I would do first. But there is no viable option. There's only the 400. I could say the 8HP, but I don't know enough about the 8HP tuning, fitment, swap kits to suggest it. But I sure as fuck know that the 6R80 will just physically bolt in to an S550. So if that can be done, oh man, that opens up a complete new market. The problem is the electronics. Problem is the tuning. So unless something like that, Motec, but what are you gonna spend? It's crazy stuff. Bryson went 100%. That's how they think. I've raced a few Hellcats who thought the car was slow because my dash did not say 200. He said they. Well, Alex, you're late to the party. Motherfuckers been using the dash to determine how fast the car was since the early 2000s. No. I know that, but I thought it was just stupid Puerto Ricans. My 86 GT said 85 on the dash. And then my friend's Camaro, the Z28, was like, oh my God, my shit's faster than yours. Mine says 140. I go, do you want to race? And we'd race, and I'd beat him by a 747. And he'd go, I don't understand. I go, you don't understand? You don't understand? My Z says 160. I'd be wide open throttle for days to get there. 200 kilometers, 1 in a dash can make a coochie league. 06 GTO said 200. It was still an Econo box from Australia. Sean Fish says my 200 horsepower GTI has a 180 mile an hour dash compared to the 160 dash in the Mustang GT. So between that and the extra letter, it must be faster. Also wider and better tire. New Edge Celine has 200 on the dash. Does that make it fast? Exactly. If it says 200 on the dash, is it fast or quick? Do you know that I don't think he knows what I mean by that? I don't think he understands that we're totally making fun of him when I say, is it fast or quick? Is it fast or quick? Well, if it goes like 6 seconds, 60 to 130, shit, that quick. But if it go 4s, that's fast. It's a time system. It's just quicker. Whatever. 200 dash is quick. 60 to 130 is fast. What do they do when it has a digital dash? Well, what? What? Yo, man, let me see the dash. Yo, man, where's your dash? Oh, it's digital. You won't see it until I turn the car on. And then it doesn't move until... Well, how you know how fast it's supposed to be? How you know how fast it is if they don't tell you how fast it is? Well, like, it's a fucking 1,100 horsepower car. Probably go 240 if I want. Oh, well, unless it says it on the dash, you can't. Because how can you go 240? Yo, listen, everybody listen. This dumb son of a bitch said, no matter what it says on the dash, you can go faster than it. Ain't that the stupid? How the hell does he know how fast he's going if it only goes to 85 on the dash? Barely made it. What I miss? New year, new chat. Must hate OBS trucks. Rear engine Mustang GT90 quad turbo V10. Get the fuck out of here. Pure Drive Solutions is a fully built example of 8 HP that costs $16,000. And you can bolt it to any motor from K series all the way to the V12, even the adapter kit custom built. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's crazy money. Brother, been doing that for the longest. Poppy Alex, I'm working on the Oklahoma 9193 and E85, the Test E70. What should I tune my Gen 3 on? E70. Say you want an E70 tune dedicated. I was about to bring up my 86 GT as well when it was stock with 273s. It would wrap the speedo at the top of second. My Civic has a digital speedometer. Technically, it has 999 miles an hour speedo. My bro had a Fox body, DPS 50. It read 160. Had to bury the needle back in the day. I found one car, one owner, 14 premium performance pack, and the guy said it overheats, but not a head gasket. He said it was like a wire or something. Bro, walk away from that fucking thing, bro. Walk away from that fucking thing. Stop it. Just walk away. I know, D-Rock. How many traps does it make it fast? Always with the what that dash say. Had a girl tell me her Hyundai was faster than my 12 GT500 because her dash said 180. Did you punch her right in the face? Like square in the jaw. What the fuck you say, bitch? You know how stupid you sound? You know how stupid you sound right now? What do you mean? It don't fucking matter. It don't fucking matter what the dash says if you got a modified car. Even if you got a stock car, you don't think a 86 Mustang went faster than 85 miles an hour? Come on. NativeShift, what's up, Alex? Found my dad passed away this morning. NativeShift, I am so sorry. You know, I found out my dad passed late, like after the fact, and my family withheld it from me for a while. And actually, they never really told me. I had to find it on Facebook. That was a kick in the nuts because, you know, your dad, there are 3 stages. And you guys know this. With your father, you go through 3 stages. You, what is it? Idolize, vilify, humanize. You, as a young kid, he's God. It's dad. He fucking shows up with the belt. What the fuck? Your mom said you didn't do your fucking homework. You know. Ooh. Then when you're like 16 to 22, you're like, you're holding me back and you don't know nothing. And so you vilify him. You idolize, you go from idolizing to vilifying him. You don't know nothing. You're old, you know. And then when you become a man and you probably have your own family or your own place or your own business, you figure out that motherfucker sacrificed a lot for you. And honestly, I don't want that responsibility. That's why I didn't want kids. Fuck all that. No, thank you. So yeah, man. Condolences. For a man, there's no worse thing to lose than your father. Your mom, I get it, you know, but like the dad. if you look at studies, the dad is the most important parent. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Fuck what anyone else says. The father is the most important parent. What happens when a girl grows up without a daddy? She's on the pole. You could make the case that in the best interest of the child, if the parents separate, they should stay with the father. I met women that were raised with just their dad, and they're fucking excellent women because the dad, you know, set them straight, and he set the example of what a good man can be. The mom was just filling her up with emotions and victimhood. The father is the most important parent, period. End of sentence. Don't even try to fucking refute that, women. Condolences, NativeShift. Condolences, yeah. It doesn't matter what the dash says. It's all about the driver, cuz. Condolences, NativeShift. Alex, that's rough. Sorry that happened. Yeah, it wasn't fun. It really sucked. I'm probably going to hate my family for the rest of my life because I'm a fucking vindictive son of a bitch. I don't give a fuck. I will hate you, and I love hating you for the rest of my life. I will cheer when you fucking fail if you fucking crossed me. Fuck it. Family included. Fuck it. Dad was the glue. And once Dad passed, I'm like, well, there's no reason to talk to that motherfucker anymore. They do the dash 3s, 60 to 130. They had to add the numbers on the dash to the DeLorean Back to the Future so it could say 88 on the dash. It only went to 85. Oh my God, stop it. She's for the streets most of the time. But your father is a terrible father. Oh, brother. JD Swag, you have no idea. The blood went right to the top of my head when she said that. My ex's mom said that. She was like, sounds like your father was a terrible father. And you know the bleed down, again, my ex, not the most recent ex, the second long-term ex, she was raised by her mom primarily. And you want to talk about fucked up decisions that they made as an adult that you can directly correlate to their upbringing. You're like, yeah, no, dad should have the fucking kid. Condolences, Native Shift. Sorry to hear that deal too. Nah, it sucks. If it's not a 10 or 80, is right. The fan connection melts. Seems to be a common issue. 13 and 14. Damn, dude. Sorry to hear that. Sorry for your loss. I mean, no, dad passed a couple of years ago. Don't catch Alex dad in a pool hall. Do you know that story? I thought you guys didn't know that story. Don't keep that from someone. You don't keep that from someone. Yeah, what are you gonna do? This is what happened. Okay, I don't talk about my personal shit, but this is, I think, what happened. So I've been very I don't want to say fortunate, but I work really hard. I'd like to think that what we have going on here is because I hustle and I give you guys content, and you like the shit. You like the content that I bring you. That's it. So all I do is work. So I sacrifice a lot of things in order to have certain things. And most of us do. Most of us that want to work really hard and live a certain lifestyle, you work really hard. And if you have something successful, you grind it out. So I have the means. I have money. Okay. I have money. So my dad's dying wish was to be buried next to his mom and dad, Eladio and Bernalda, my grandparents, in Puerto Rico. Eladio died like in the 90s. And Bernalda died, I think, in the late 90s or early 2000s. So dad wanted to be buried next to them. So I didn't find anything out. Then I found out he's cremated. So I'm like, well, he didn't want that. He wanted to be buried next to his parents. So I think what happened is the following. They probably didn't let me know because they know I can afford to ship homie back to Puerto Rico, give him the proper burial, proper deal. It's my dad. I got it. Here you go. Let's get his final dying wish. Let's get him over to the plot. Boom. And, at least in Puerto Rico, people in Puerto Rico, because you have a huge family in Puerto Rico. There he is. Bernalda, Eladio, Alejandro, Sr. I think they probably didn't want to let me have that. You know what I mean? Like to have that over on them. It's an ego thing. It's like, oh, I don't want Alex coming in and saving the day. We can't afford to ship him to Puerto Rico, but I could. So I suspect, I don't know, but I suspect it's something along those lines. Dude, it's like the most fucking retarded situation ever. You have a family here. We love you, Alex. Diaz. Native Shift says, South Detroit says to Native Shift, condolences to you, brother. I lost my dad when I was 28, and I still haven't gotten over it. I will never get over it. I'll never get over Dad's death. Dad was a G. I love that dude. That dude. Now, Dad did his best. 6th grade education, was a welder. Then he was like literally a bodyguard for a drug dealer for a long time. It was crazy. Both parents are very necessary. The father is the most important. If you were to place importance on, just look at some studies. And you know what? Statistics. Oh, AI is bullshit. Single father households do vastly better than single mother. And here's the reason why. Oh, no, see, it's behind a paywall. But anyway, you can look it up. I'm sure there's both sides of the argument you can look up that people will skew. But based on experience, based on my experience in my life, people I've come across, thousands of people I've known and seen, when the father is involved, they come out okay. Well, that's incredibly selfish of them. Italian girls have the best smiles. Yeah, Italian girls are fucking hot, bro. One up on them. Yes, like, oh, Alex came in and was paid for everything, you know, like, and they're like, they don't want to give me that like satisfaction. Alex's dad was Pedro Navaja. Homeboy was a fucking legend. Moms are great for the kid. Preteen era, we need love and kindness. Teenager and on, you need tough love and life lessons to deal with. Dads are the best at that. Dads are the best at everything. What's so hard about doing the dishes? I'll never get over my dad. I can learn to carry on, though. The father shit. The father is the shit. Blue Thunder. I never knew my real dad. My stepdad has been there since I was 2. Couldn't have picked someone better. I never even used the word stepdad because he's more than that. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I don't think I could date a single mom. I just, because I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. It's not in me. Because I've dated single moms before. And what happens is, if the breakup happens, you lose 2 people. Right? You lose the relationship with the woman and the child if you bonded. I'm good on that. They got to be older. Randy Owen says, my bro switched up after my mom died last year. Dad died at 16. I have no family left, so brother can kick rocks. He wouldn't honor my mom's wish to be buried next to Pops either, and has ghosted me now. Bro, you can't choose your family. I think friends are more important than family, because you choose your friends. You choose those people to be around you. You seek them out. So friends are more important than family. Because family can be, look at Hunter Biden. Could you imagine that's your son? You love him no matter what. But he's a fuck up. If Hunter Biden was my friend, I'd dump him as a friend. Because I don't want him to be around. Fuck all that. I wouldn't choose to be around that motherfucker. Look at pets. Who do they obey the most? Males? What do females do? Ooh, foofy. Want some scritches? Bro. Tony does not act up around me ever. Tony literally does not act up around me ever. I had a girl over the other day, and she was like, and he was fucking losing his mind. Eyes were red. Tail was going 1,000 miles an hour. He didn't know what to do with himself. This woman is giving me all the and he's fucking, and I said, don't do that. Don't do that. I have raised this dog a certain way, and you're undoing that by being cuddly. No cuddles for this fucker. You give him an inch, he takes a foot. No, she didn't listen. And then he ended up nipping her chin. And she looked at me like, that dog shouldn't be doing that. Oh, you shouldn't be fucking giving him all these high-pitched sounds to make him crazy. Treat him like furniture, and he's the best. I was raised by my dad, says EPA, only starting at age 13. Thank God I haven't heard from mom in 24 years. Dads can do everything by themselves. They have a woman to accompany them. Sorry, but the truth, dads are in fact number one. Dad'll build a garage, do the dishes, take care of the kid way better than any woman could. Sorry, it's the truth. Deshaun Official, dating a single mom is like taking over a lease. If you wife her, it's like buying it out at the end. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tony's sleeping. Tony. I bought new furniture. He don't dare touch it. He don't dare touch it. I saw him on it the other day. I'm like, get the. Now he sees me. He's like, no, you can't get on the furniture. No, this is brand new furniture. Fuck all that. I want to keep it nice. The only stains that are gonna be on this furniture is my jizz. Tony about to chuck a rod. He was losing his freak. She goes, look at him. He looks psycho. You're giving him high-pitched bullshit. Ignore him. This is the closest I've been able to make it to a live in a while. Just wanted to say these streams are my favorite thing on the internet. Looking forward to another year. Jake, thank you so much. Yeah, it's going to be fun this year. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's give a state of the union for the last 10 minutes here. If you're asking me, Alex, are you optimistic that the Mustang is going to be tunable? If it's not tunable by the first quarter of this year, I don't think it's going to be tunable till mid to late summer, if it's going to be tunable. But in my opinion, the F-150 is probably going to be tunable first before the Mustang. I don't know why I have that feeling, but I do. The 2025, though, is going to take yet another year and then some because of the dual processor stuff. Unless Ford can flick a switch and make it tunable. You have seen what the market looks like with no Lund racing on 24 Mustang. What does the market look like nowadays for 24 Mustang? NA cars with check engine lights, and they gut it to death, saying it's a better car than the S550. Meanwhile, no one has ever gutted an S550 with a stock tune to see what it runs on drag mode. No one has ever done that. It goes right to tuning. Then you have companies telling people to put E30 in it. That's right. You have people trusting customers. That's the rub. If you tell a customer put E30 in it, what do you think his brain processes that as? Well, if E30 is good, E50 is betterer. If E50 is betterer, E85 is better. So you have companies telling you to put E30 in it as long as you have a fuel pump voltage booster in it. And the cars run 8s with custom tuning. It is not a stock homogenized shitty. No, it is custom tuning making these cars go 8s. The tune you get as Joe Blow delays fueling, kills catalytic converters, and it delays enrichment. And knock sensors hate life. So every time you see somebody running an 8 with a S650, understand that unless you're in a certain group, you're not going to get that treatment. You're just not. Or unless you're a dealer. And you saw what happened when someone put that kit on a new 24 F-150, and you saw the data log of that situation. So the state of the union is this. Now you guys see what happens when tuning is not available. There it is. A car that doesn't sell well. It sold 10,000 less units than the previous year. NA, you got to gut it to about 3,300 pounds to make it run a decent number. You're stuck with a Whipple tune. People are saying E30 is okay on a 14.0 stoic fuel tune. People are getting special saucy stuff telling you that's the norm. It is not the norm, because the norm is not 20 degrees of spark advance with 2.0, 2.1 air load. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. The norm is 15 to 14 degrees over 1/6 load. That's the norm on pump gas. So the state of the union when it comes to tuning 24 and up shows you what happens when tuners are taken out of the equation. The car doesn't sell well. The car doesn't generally perform great. And you're stuck with one power adder monopolizing everything. The moment tuning opens up, centrifugals, twin turbos, and everything else is going to come into play. And then you're going to start seeing the market actually flourish because tuning is now available. But right now, it's monopolized by one company, and you're kind of stuck with that situation. And not everybody likes that power adder. Most people want turbo stuff. Most people want centrifugal stuff. Most people want NA E85 stuff. So the state of the union market, the state of the 24 S650 tuning, I'm not optimistic. 2025, I'm not optimistic that anything is going to change. And if it doesn't change by the first quarter, I don't have high hopes. And then we got to start all over again with 2025 and see what the deal is with that. So I am not optimistic with 24 and up Mustang. I am optimistic that the swap market is going to pick up. And that is what I am currently working on. I am working with a manufacturer to bring hopefully new parts for 23 and under. And that's my goal, to see if we can do some vetting, see if we can make some products, because nothing's selling. Ford is not giving you tunable stuff. Ford is hedging their bet on one power adder, and not everyone wants that fucking cold air intake and that blower that likes to shake hands with the other rotor. The rotors like to shake hands once you put a decent amount of boost to it. Tony Screen Time. No, we don't need Tony Screen Time. He's going to be all over the place. Coming late. Oh, yeah, exactly. She paid wrong energy. Right. She needed to suck on the bicho. And she was just looking at me. I'm like, no, you got to get out of here, bro. 2 to 3 years minimum. Fuel companies making E30 fuels. That's sad. That's what happens when tuning goes away. Fuel companies start getting wonky and start making E30 blends. F-150 V8 is so hard to buy at the dealer these days. It's a Whipple too, not a Fortune. Okay. Don't forget the manual S650 hits the brakes on a shift. Does it? So, guys, maybe you guys need to tell me that. Why is the S650's brake lights coming on in between shifts? Is there something like, is the drift stick being wonky? Like, what's happening with that? I'm building a swap car now. Yes, you're building a Fox body. 23 and under, even Gen 1? Yes, Rennie owns. I am hoping to work with the manufacturer to bring you new parts, 23 all the way down to 11. Gen 1 to Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. Yo, what up, Dio? Kind of late. Says E-Light. I'm now part of the London racing community, waiting on the LRX tomorrow. I'm super stoked. Awesome. Nee Pull says, thoughts on ESS plus any high ram intake? Worth the investment on the intake? No, I would rather you do an 18 manifold. The high ram intake, you're not going to make that much more power over an 18 manifold on a blow-through application. It's just not worth it. Merck St. James saying single parent of 5. Oldest was in 2nd grade when I got custody. Single parent of 5? Oldest was in 2nd grade when I got custody? I bet you they're all good. I bet you none of them are doing stupid shit. If you did your job. Alan Emanuel S650, it does not hit the brakes. False information. Okay, making sure. Well, have you shifted it good? Because I've seen a lot of them do 1, 2, 2, 3 shifts and the brake lights come on. So maybe go out there and do some real crazy watts with someone videoing from the back. We'll see if the brake lights come on the shift. Jumping on 24 Mustang will be years old, thus spring. Some of the F-150s are hitting the brakes also on the shift. Ford tried to push an EcoBoost on me. I finally said, I'm not gay, to the salesperson. Probably the same reason the 1080 F-150's brake lights come on, hitting the rev limiter. I've seen the brake lights come on during shifts on manual C6s too. Maybe a wiring thing? No, I think that's just someone smashing the clutch pedal and sideswiping the brake. That's all it is. Never heard of the S650 brake lights coming on during shifts. Yeah, it could just be that. It could just be fat-footed idiots, not, just barely sweat. See, I think a lot of people, when they shift, they take their foot all the way off of the clutch. Like when you're racing, you have to put your foot just on the pedal and leave it there. And then you stab that bitch and then you get right back on it. I don't go boom with the clutch pedal and then come all the way off. So then I have to come all the, no. It's like whoop, whoop, whoop. Like it stays close. So a lot of people, they get way overzealous and they get way too aggressive with their body motion. It has to be a very quick, you have to stay still. You can't go like holding the steering wheel. Like every single time I see somebody like this at the track, drag racing, I know you're retarded. I'm sorry. If your hand is at the 12, 11, or 10 o'clock position, now when you're shifting, this is what happens with the steering wheel. But if it's down here at fucking 7 o'clock, you don't even move it that much. As a matter of fact, you don't even grip the steering wheel that hard. You can basically move it with your 2 fingers. And you just shift and you're not jerking it left or right. You just kind of let the steering wheel float in your hands. But when you have a death grip at 12 o'clock and you're shifting and you're doing this and the car's fishtailing all the way down the track, I'm like, bro, put your hand over here, let it float in your hands. Don't really grip it that hard, shift, and you won't manipulate the wheel that much. It's not that difficult. Would you agree that the high ram intakes ESS would just move the power back? Stop. The cams are everything. Cams. If you don't have aftermarket cams, the high ram matters fuck all. I thought traction control uses the brakes. It kills, advanced track does. But the traction control generally fucks with the throttle. Just bought a 93.2 and can I purchase an E85 Fuel later on? Yes, you can. Out of home, just trying to send some fools to Gapple Bees on the streets. My birthday Sunday. Happy birthday, Alex, on Saturday. Thank you. Yes, my birthday is this Saturday. All they wanted, just based on short block looks, I'm only going to hold my breath on the new gen stuff. The F-150 blocks, también feo. And Ford, just give me more Predator-based stuff and Gen 1 cars. Chuck says, probably someone like me with big feet, sideswiping the brakes, hitting the clutch. Yeah, dude, Chuck is like 6'7", 6'8", probably 300 pounds. He's fucking huge. That's the Toretto grip family. Forget the 24 Mustang. I'm buying Bitcoin. Yep. Ford trusts part companies to tune the S650 when all of us on this chat know very well that the parts company's main objective is to sell parts? I repeat, sell parts, not tunes, right? Well, they do have a calibrator that's decent because he has Ford access, Ford calibration engineering access, but he doesn't race like we do, and he doesn't have the data we do, and he wouldn't even know where to start when it comes to that stuff unless somehow they got hold of some files. Nobody would do that, right? Fuck out of here. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Guys, thank you very much for joining me on the first stream of 2025. Ford doing Ford things. 2 recalls on some of their more popular vehicles. The Super Duty diesel fuel pumps are shit in the bed, 20 to 22. And the Ford Lightnings might not have a nut fully tightened on one of the control arms. Crazy stuff. We talked about what the general performance population might want on the chat. Then we talked a little bit about manual stuff, S650 stuff, and the state of the tuning union of 2025. I am not optimistic, so I'm concentrating on swap stuff all the way down to 2011 and working with parts companies to hopefully bring you guys some parts. Nothing crazy, but I think you guys will appreciate what I am trying to do. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys on Sunday for Peasant Chat Sunday, the day after my birthday, so wish me happy birthday then. On my birthday, what am I going to do? I'm probably going to take the transmission out of Donnie and see if the block isn't so damaged that it can't be welded and just saved for now instead of buying a whole new motor. I'm going to buy the motor anyway, but I want to be able to not take the motor out of the car physically, just put it on, make sure the starter bolts up, make sure all the bolts line up, and get after it and see if, because at that point, let's just blow it up, right? Fuck it. Let's just put a blower on it and fucking the kingdom come, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, have a good rest of your week. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning for Peasant Chat. See you guys later. Thanks for joining. Bye.